I literally have no idea if this is gonna work. I wanted to make a video. Unfortunately, well, it's not fortunately or not fortunately. Uh, so these are the 3 boxes that that I use for my layout. Those are the 4 boxes that hold everything else, but these are the ones that hold the buildings. And we already talked about one in a different video. And we actually talked about, well, 2's downstairs. So I do store one downstairs because I couldn't get up there. So this is my very messy garage that has a personality crisis because it doesn't know if it's a garage or a storage area or a wood shop. Because I do like working with wood. I built the boxes, and and I didn't want to take all this downstairs because it'll just, everything's in storage right now, and it might have been easier if it would be easier if I just did this in the basement. Of course, there's Josh's toys. And we brought in all our stuff from the backyard in the fall and stuff. So we're trying to organize the whole long story. Let's focus on the Lego. So we talked about box 1, and let's just open up box. Oh, there it is. Box 1, just for a pleasant reminder. It has the rocket launch pad, the observation deck, the monorail station, and 1 landing pad. So that's box 1. And as I say, box 2 is downstairs. I was going to talk about box 3. That's way down there. I didn't put a 3 on it yet. I mean, this is the first one I made. But let's have a quick look in it to see if I want to take it apart. See if I can get it apart. Like that piece of wood that can't be there. As I say, everything is in here from the fall. So that's box 3. As you can see, it's the building, and although the building is cool, the base is cool. Some quick notes. I did get my Cricut to make some stripes to cover the green with yellow, so it matches the other thing. But we might do that one at some point because it is kind of cool. But I wanted to do it. I guess now I'm just going to talk about box 4, which has nothing on it whatsoever because it hides in the back. So box 4, having nothing on it, is the most important box. A little messy. And the HDF, the high density fiberboard. See, these are the blue 1x4 tiles that I use to put the monorails together, so I know that, to take them apart. So I should come up with something better right now, obviously. So there's the last 2 landing pads from the tower. So I'll put those down here, out of the way. Recycle bins in the background. That's always pleasant for video. I have no other place to store this guy, so I'm just going to put him up here for a sec. And he always breaks, but the pieces are in the box. That's my attempt. So I'll get rid of this nice warped piece of hardboard. Of course, my door's in the way. I'm doing this one-handed. So this is the interesting box. This is the box that holds odds and sods of leftover pieces. And I had to come up with something to store these things first of all. So this is Jeff's rocket, and with the cake topper. I should use foam at some point. I haven't done it yet, but Jeff's rocket, it's sitting there and usually it doesn't break. Sorry, Jeff, it's broken right now. There, it's fixed already. I use a lot of Velcro in this box just to hold pieces together. And so there you go. I just put this on top right there. And then the rocket fins are somewhere else. And this little antenna goes right on top. I love that. So all of a sudden the rocket's done. And then the rocket goes on the layout on the rocket platform. It looks fantastic. Right there. Thanks, Jeffy. And then this guy always breaks. And if I do get around to gluing pieces, it'll be because of this one right here. And I'm not even going to bother trying to put them together because I definitely will need 2 hands. This part is the most fragile. Oh, check that. Yeah, there it is. I got that when I was 6. So, anyway, yeah, it's in there. That came off of Jeff's rocket ship, so put that in there. I'll fix that later. But this is, when it's sitting like this, it doesn't look like much at all. I will be the first to say that. So it's held in here again by Velcro. And a little Velcro up here. I put Velcro in here so this thing doesn't slide around in here, because it would slide on here, and then it slides out. If I can do this one-handed, I'm gonna put this down for a sec, and maybe you guys can see me take it out just by doing that. So this was the hardest part in the entire tower to put together. We'll come back to it in a second. So the last piece is the piece underneath the cake topper, but above the observation deck, and it's upside down. I found that to be the easiest way to store it. I might pull it out later, but there isn't much to it. This piece is interesting though. So, sorry, just rocket. So this piece, one of my mandates for the layout was to get as many quarter domes as possible into the layout, and this one piece has, 8. So, and just look at all the tests on it, but all these slope windows that came out, and I put the blue ones in the bottom. There is an interior. It's not much right now. I had a better interior before I rebuilt it to wire it with lights, and I'm going to put the people walking around. This is the demarc zone of the entire layout, and it's just 100% straight up brick built from bottom to top. There's no Technic pieces from the bottom to the top to hold the whole thing together. So, but you can stand on it, because there's, from here all the way down, there's bricks to hold the whole thing up. So it's not just relying on this part here to hold it together, because that would just fall apart. There's engineering term for it, but it does have struts or whatever. This is becoming a very bad video. It's actually, you can probably see it better this way when you look straight down. So from here all the way down to the bottom, there's bricks on top of bricks. Also looking down here, you can see the life flights kits that I'm using, and a lot of them. This dome, I think by itself, this piece here has like 6 different life flights kits in it, just to light it up. And then we have the wires going to the landing pads. So we'll grab a landing pad. I'll show that to you again. So we'll lift the landing pad upside down. So there's that little 2x4 electric brick, and it goes on there. I can't do it with one hand, but maybe I'll put this down again. Let's see if I can do this. Again, forgive the messy garage, my friend Andrew would say. So this thing just goes on top of this, as like so. It clamps down, and of course I have to hold it because there's, well, this side has weight, and usually I have somebody at the show that will hold this while I put one on the other side, and then it balances out, and it's heavy enough to stay balanced. But that's it. And then I do actually have underneath here holes, Technic holes, where I put an 8L Technic axle through to hold it together. And those are stored elsewhere. And then when I take it off, I shake a little bit, and it comes off. And as soon as I connect this thing, because of the 2x4 electric brick right there and the one right there, this thing lights up immediately. So it's really cool. I like it. On the other side, I do have the EL wire connection that I have to manually connect, but that's okay. And then so all the way down here, I have like a wiring harness, a plug, because of course this thing is separate. And so I have this whole wiring harness that goes through the entire layout, but I have a big huge trunk of wires that come up to the tower and connect to here, because then this thing goes, lights up all this, and then I actually have more wires that go to the next level on top. So when I put it together, this whole thing lights up, which is what I wanted from the beginning. I also want to put in more detail, obviously. There's not a lot of detail here right now. When I rewired it, I didn't have enough time to put the people walking on the inside again. I used to have this whole thing populated and people walking in and out of airlocks and blah, blah, blah. Let's see what's on the bottom. I think it's pretty much the same as on the top. You can see there's another layer there where people are observation layer underneath. This, I have no idea what I was going to do with this room at another level. It's completely empty. It's completely barren. It's right above the, right below this one would be the monorail layer, the almost full circle monorail. And on the top there would be the observation deck. So it's it looks, I call it the diamond level because it, you know, it's got the shape of a diamond right now. And I keep on saying this, it's not fancy at all. It really isn't. It is 2x4, 2x3, 2x6 bricks, and 2x2 45-degree slopes, and inverted slopes in the bottom. That's it. I'm gonna put this thing down because I flip it over and you can actually see the semi-interesting thing. Let me just put this here, and hopefully this thing works because it's been a long time it's been in storage. There we go. So this is the Technic build that I had to do in order to make it strong enough to support those landing pads. So there's 2 rows of Technic bricks, obviously with 2 plates in between, because that's how you do a brick, plate, plate, brick, and then you put vertical Technics to hold it all together and strengthens it. And this whole Technic row goes all the way to the center. The center is open, you know, because I wanted that cool look where you can look down. You can't see it from here. I think I showed it from here up top. But on the edge, the Technic pieces come over here. So this piece is joined to this piece using those L Technic bricks, and the same way around. So this whole Technic beam system is all attached. So it does go across, but it does have that opening in the middle, which is nice. I mean, it presents a little bit of a weakness, but in the end, it works. And that's why the landing pads can't go out too far because they would just droop. This droops. And at one point, and you can see it here, I did have Technic beams, studless beams, going from here out to here to kind of cantilever to hold up the landing pad better. But it just looked too ugly. You could see them. They were very seeable, observable. I think it took away, it detracted from the overall look of the mystique of the building with these landing pads that are hanging in midair. And overall, people can't really see the droop too much. I can see the droop, but people aren't looking for the droop when they're looking at the pictures or looking at the actual layout. What else was there? Not much else. As I say before in different videos, all my 4x3 trans yellow panels are in the layout. And I use lots of them here. Like, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16. And then actually the 2x3 panels in here. I used up basically all of them in this layout. And again, trans domes. Lots of these. Some of them came from jealouspanda.com. These are originals, but there are some in here that are from jealouspanda.com because I didn't have enough yellow to go through the... And my original Lego ones are all scratched up. Just like the original windows here would be all scratched up. So I replaced some of those even with the Jealous Panda windows because, yeah, it's not original Lego. But you can see through, like, that's so... Look at this one. Look how scratched up that is. Now, one of my friends told me he went over to Lee Valley and he got some sandpaper, but not just regular sandpaper, like 30,000 grit sandpaper. So very, very ultra fine sandpaper. And he says that 30,000 or 40,000 grit, you can make these things, polish them up to look like they're not scratched anymore. I want to try that at some point, but right now I just order from Jealous Panda and just order window replacements because, you know. But here, there's, you know, people don't see it. My panels, I mean, that one's pretty good. This one's pretty scratched up. But in the end, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much because, again, and let's see if we go this way. This is the front. This is as I say, most of my pieces have a piece that's okay, so I just noticed right there. So this is a Jealous Panda window, and this is an old actual Lego window, and you can see the difference. And these are really scratched up. So I should actually just put another order in to Chris and just order just a whole bunch of those, because you can just tell. Anyway, this is the front, because the wiring has to be in the back left corner, just because that's the way it meshes. And then all the wiring's in one corner. So this is coming out the back left here, and it goes all the way up. So the wiring harness goes from the bottom left all the way up through the tower, right through this corner. And so I decided to put a life lights brick there. Thanks, Rob, because this thing is mostly powered, lit up by life lights. And I really appreciate him. He's not doing a product placement. He doesn't give me stuff for free. I buy it just like everybody else. But I really, really enjoy his kits. And I'm glad he's still making them. And I'm still ordering them because I need more. So that's my favorite piece. By itself, it doesn't look like much. It really doesn't. It is just a bunch of basic brick and a lot of trans yellow. There's absolutely nothing fancy about this. It's just big, and it has pieces that you have to pay a lot for. But I happen to have a lot of them because I was at the right age and the right time and with the right paycheck to get them when I got them. I also, what I don't have here, and I could probably get them, is inside you can see the 4x4 or the 2x4x5 and 2x4x6 trans blue, dark blue cylinders. I use those as the lifts to get all your minifigs in Universe, to get the minifigs to go up through the entire tower. That's your elevators or your turbo lifts or whatever you want to call them. And at one point, this level had a doorway built out of like angle bricks and whatever that looked like this, except on an angle. The problem is that it was bulky and you couldn't see the rest of the floor. When you looked through here, you would see this big huge door that's, you know, so people can get in and out of the lift. And so it's a balance by, you know, the imagination, knowing that these people have to get off of that floor and get in on the floor to get into the lift. So how do they do that without a door there? I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to put one back in. This one actually had a floor there before I wired it. There was a floor right here before I wired it up. And these things would be open like the other, on the observation deck I showed you. These things would have the hollow, so because the lift's on the outside here, because it comes up through here and there's the lift on the outside. And so this would be the doorway here. But it does make this thing notoriously weak. And so nobody's gonna see this specific spot here. So I decided to get rid of the doorways because I needed the strength. And I got rid of the floor, although I could probably put another floor in. I think I did that in the bottom too. Yeah, I got rid of because all these had little doorways into there, because again, I wanted it to be as in Universe as possible for the minifigs to get around. But in the end, it was very, very weak. And so this bottom level and the top level would break because there was not a lot of strength here, and these pieces would just break off. So it's a balancing act between making something that works in Universe for the minifigs to move around, so you can have your imagination or moving around, but versus making something strong. This is all 2x4 bricks and 2x3 and 2x2. It's super strong. I won't do it now because the floor is a little spongy and it probably wouldn't work. But I put this on a solid concrete floor and I stood on top of this. I won't do that too many times in my life. I did that once or twice, and it held me up. So the strength goes all the way down, right down to the floor, and that's what I wanted. Anyway, I think I've talked about this enough. Maybe I will try to. I'm gonna put this down for a sec. I'm gonna try to get this guy out. He sometimes doesn't make the trip. So, yeah, something's loose inside. That's what always happens. You get something loose inside. So this is a pretty old level, actually, when it comes down to it. It's not as old as the observation deck, and it was a little hard to make because trying to get these are the actual original wing plates. There's 16 of them, and they make a perfect circle, obviously using 16 of them. But how do you, besides the 90 degrees, how do you get that attached to anything, because they're on a specific angle? And so what happened is, let me just get this down and flip this thing over. Yeah, it's loose inside. So this is what I had to do. It's a bit of a mess, but these pieces are attached to this piece here, and on the 90 degrees all the way around. But I also wanted to light it up. So there's a life lights kit in here, and these things always notoriously come loose. I don't know why. So not pretty by any stretch at the bottom when you're looking at it from the bottom up. It's not a pretty build, and I keep on meaning to fix that. But in the end, it works. So, and I got other things to take care of, and so it's on the list of things to remedy at some point in the future. And as you can see, there's the wiring that connects to the wiring that comes up from the top there. It's fine. It does the job. So in universe, as you can see, it doesn't have the outside blue tubes. In universe, and this is probably what's part of the things that are broken in here. The blue tube, the lift tube is in the middle here, so they can get up, and then you can probably see right in the middle of this, there's a blue tube. So that's what it comes out to. And then again, in universe, the tube would come up here and go into the cake topper. The cake topper itself, I might get it up now. Forget the fact that it's always busted. This is a cake topper. Pull this back a bit. Cake topper. I know it's an old school name for something. Let's see. Let's see what I got. There we go. So this is, what is that stuff in there? So this is let's fix this again. Something dripped on here somewhere. I don't know what that is. But this one also has a front. You can see it, camouflage. So that makes it the front. And this guy has to connect right there. And so, should have fixed these things before I brought them out of the box, before I made the video. So this thing goes right on top of here, as like so, and it connects down on these. There we go. It's hard to sometimes do, because bricks get in the way. There we go. So now the cake topper's on. And there's again 2x4 electric brick or electric plate on this one and this one. So now the electricity would come up through here and go all the way up to here. So that'd be lit up. These three would be lit up. This would be lit up, although I want to light it up better. And that would be the last. And the life lights brick is hidden right inside one of these things. Now I did, Chris, you can stop listening now. I did take a Dremel and hollow this one out, so the life light brick would fit inside in the wiring. And I did make, because it has to come up, the wire has to come all the way through here. I did on all these 1x2 modified plates. I did in the center of them, when they come together, drill a little hole so the wire can come all the way up to here to light that piece up. And that's why, oh, there it is. So there's a wire right there. The actual round bricks, you can just put the wire through without modifying it at all. But where the 1x2 modified plates come together, of course, it's going to block it. So you'd have to hollow those out. And as well, on the back, and you can probably see right there, I drilled through the two 1x2 jumper plates, and I drilled through one of these 2x2 round bricks to get the wire to come up through there. So I do try, and I will say this, I do try to minimize how many bricks I have to modify with the drill or a Dremel when I'm doing this kind of stuff. And overall, I try to brick build it without damaging bricks, but in certain circumstances, such as that, I have to get the wire up there. And so yes, it's a 1x2 ladder, modified plate, and the 1x2 handle that has a little notch out of it. That's not a huge notch. I mean, I use a small Dremel, so I could use them in other builds when I'm done here. I try not to wreck a brick where you can't use it again, because you can hide that pretty easy. I mean, usually when you build a ladder, the ladder's on the outside, and so that little notch is on the back of that 1x2, and you don't see it. So I'm not too, and none of this is glued, by the way, even though this thing consistently, even at a show, will come off right there. And I should have tested the pieces, because I think that 1x2 round plate, or it could even be the 1x2 round brick, the 2x2 round brick and the 2x2 round plate, they don't hold together very well right there. And so you knock this thing, that falls over. And so you ask Sandy, ask anybody else. When I'm at a show, I'm constantly trying to put that back up. And then I have that little guy on the back here, and usually I can't put him on during a show, because like he is hard to get on there, especially when it's 5 feet in the air or 6 feet in the air. And so there he's walking up to do whatever he has to do, and just putting him on just moves this thing. So I have contemplated gluing the 2x2 tower there, because I can't put an axle through there because there's a wire going through there. Anyway, so that's the cake topper. That's the flight ops. This is the flight ops deck that goes on top of that after the observation deck's on there. But this thing will fit on top here as it is, but you know, it's not necessarily, it needs the observation deck. So that's the video for today. That's the box number 4 with all the miscellaneous odds and sods. I hope you enjoyed it. One day, maybe if there's a nice weekend between now and snow starts, I might put the layout back in the driveway one more day, and just to see it up again before winter, because again, I can't put it up anywhere else because there's no shows, there's no whatever, and it won't fit in my house. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy, drop me a line, stay mentally good. I'm doing this to get my mental state better, and wishing everybody well. You guys all take care out there.